Welcome gardeners to the Urban Gardener channel. My name is Enoch Graham and I am really excited to announce to all of you that we have been selected to compete in a national gardening competition. This competition is hosted by Johnny Appleseed Organic and Mother Earth News, and they're calling it the Organic Gardening Invitational. Now I'm really excited about being selected among 5 others from across the nation to compete in 6 different gardening categories. Now last fall, Johnny Appleseed Organic and Mother Earth News put out a call to have gardeners from around the nation submit audition videos for this invitational. So even though we were just getting to the end of our growing season, I went right out and shot a video, and this is what we submitted. Hey gardeners, my name's Enoch Graham. I'm an urban organic gardener here in the Rogue Valley, beautiful Southern Oregon. I'm really excited about this Johnny Appleseed Organics Gardening Invitational with Mother Earth News. It's going to be a really fun way to show off our organic gardening skills and share our gardens. Now, I've been growing my own food and gardening here in Southern Oregon for the last 10 years. As you can tell, it's fall time and we've just had our first real hard frost. So we're out gathering some of the last of our crops right now. So we're picking our tomatoes, gathering up those squash, and pulling off the last of our peppers. Now we grow in a small paved back patio here where we've incorporated some above ground raised beds and our water wicking 5-gallon buckets. We also have extended our growing space into our unique alleyway spaces to go along with the few little spaces that we already have, along with some spaces that our neighbors let us use. We're able to really extend our ability to grow as much of our own organic food as possible. After a few years growing here, I had several friends and family and neighbors who were really intrigued with what I was doing with my spaces, and so they encouraged me to start my own YouTube channel so that I could teach and show people how I was utilizing these small spaces to maximize growing my own food so we could take less trips to the grocery store. And so my garden adventure began. So as you can tell, I have a real passion for gardening, not just for all of the great organic food that I'm able to grow for myself, but also for the peace of mind that a garden brings you as well. So right now, we are transitioning from our summer and fall harvests to this winter planting for our 2022 growing season. And as you can see, we grow plenty of squash, some pretty big ones as well, lots of tomatoes, peppers, sweet potatoes. We grow all sorts of organic food for ourselves right here in our gardens. So I am completely confident that we are up to the challenges of your invitational. So I hope that our gardens get picked, and we'll be seeing you in this next 2022 growing season. So that was our video that we submitted to Johnny Appleseed Organic and Mother Earth News, and they selected us along with 5 others to compete in this really great competition. The 6 different categories are growing a big squash, we've got to put together a flower arrangement, the hottest pepper, we've got to grow a really big sweet potato, a big tomato, and we've got to submit our best organic gardening hack. So this is going to be really fun to be able to put all of our skills to the test and see how well we do in this competition. I do encourage you all to check a link down below in the description for a leaderboard that Mother Earth News and Johnny Appleseed Organic has put together to follow all 6 of us competitors in all the different competition categories as we grow throughout the season. So that's going to be a really great place to be able to get all of the up-to-date information on all of us and how we're doing throughout the growing season. Right here on the Urban Gardener channel, I'm going to be putting out new videos for the Invitational every other Tuesday. And those will alternate with our micro pepper farm videos that we're going to be putting out as well. So check out some of these new videos every other Tuesday as we'll be going along throughout the whole gardening season from seed to harvest to see how well we all do in these categories. So again, I encourage you all to check out all of our different introduction videos and all the different content that we'll be having on that website that Johnny Appleseed Organic and Mother Earth News is set up. So go check that out. That's going to be the best place to find all the up-to-date information on where we're all at with this competition. Our next video, what we'll do is we'll focus really on the competition itself. We'll go over the rules, the competitors, and all the different things that it's going to entail for our gardens here. And then after that, I'll do every other week a focus on each different category. So we'll really dig into each of the different categories that we're going to be competing in, talk about the seeds and the varieties that we've selected and some of the methods and things that we're going to be looking at doing in order to really win each one of these categories. So I'm really excited about taking you all along on this really fun garden adventure. So again, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications so that you can see all of these upcoming great videos that we'll have for all of these different competition categories. So for this video, I did just want to kind of dig in just a little bit deeper into my introduction video and kind of tell you just a little bit more about my garden story. So my garden story starts back when I was real young. My mother grew houseplants similar to like I have here now. And when I was really young, I remember asking her to start my own plant. I wanted my own plant in my own room because I loved all of the different plants that she had throughout the house. And what she did is she ended up giving me one of those little starts off of a spider plant. And that was my first house plant that I got to grow myself. And we started it off in just a little cup of water and grew the roots out and put it into a little pot and got it started. And within just several months, and I believe for the next couple of years, that spider plant grew right there on my nightstand in my bedroom and became a big, beautiful plant. I also remember that she grew a sweet potato plant in the house and just grew it as a house plant. And I thought it was the coolest thing, and I do remember taking it to school for show and tell. It was a really cool thing to show everybody, and they all thought it was the neatest thing, how a potato could grow this really cool plant. So I took that love of growing plants through in my teenage years into my young adult years and started really collecting and picking up all sorts of different plants. Now I'd even go over to friends' places and take snippings and cuttings off of plants, sometimes without them even knowing if I really had to have a piece of their plant. But I just loved picking up new plants, and especially those that really needed some help. Case in point would be my big pothos I have here in my living room. This plant I've had for about 25 years now, and I found that one on the back of a restaurant that was getting rid of all of its plants throughout the dining room, and this one only had just the tiniest little green coming out of it, and I took that home, nursed it back to life, and it's been traveling around with me again for the last 25 years. So I really love my house plants. But years ago, I had a friend of mine, because of my love of plants, brought me a cucumber start. Because he didn't know what to do with it himself, he figured that I would know what to do with it. But I'd never grown food before. Vegetables and fruits and things like that were something I hadn't done. I mean, the closest I got was that sweet potato when I was younger. So immediately I took this cucumber plant and started reading all about what I needed to do, got it outside onto my small apartment balcony. We repotted it and placed it in the back corner, and it ended up taking over the whole balcony within a couple of months and was bearing these really big, delicious cucumber fruits, and I just couldn't believe it. Cucumbers are my daughter's favorite, and when we were eating those fresh fruits off of a plant that I grew off my balcony, the light bulb completely hit. I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe that we were actually eating food that I actually grew. More so, I couldn't believe that I hadn't thought about it yet already. Now, we were limited with the space that we had in the apartment balcony, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. I immediately tried growing other plants like tomatoes and radishes and all sorts of different things that I could get growing in that space. And then I moved here to Southern Oregon, where I have just a little bit more space. It's really still some small urban space, as it's just a paved back patio and a couple of in-ground spots that I have along the fence line. Plus, we've also taken some of the alleyway spaces in order to get as much food as we can growing throughout our season. So with all the new space, my passion for gardening and growing my own food was just starting to explode. But at the same time that was going on, there were a lot of things in my life that were really, really starting to implode. At about that time, my daughter's mother lost a battle with cancer, and it was really difficult on us and our family. And I kind of secluded myself in my garden. I tried to just kind of lose myself there, and found a real healing process with gardening and growing things as well. And it really made me understand about how a lot of people feel connected to their gardens in the way they do like that because of going through that the way I did. And I think that, as well as the things that I was learning about gardening and the things I was learning and getting better at doing, and also, all of that great food that we were getting too, really, really pushed me into my next phase of my gardening story, and ultimately just changed my life completely. Now, I owe so much to gardening when it comes down to it. Now, over the next couple of years, things just started to grow more and more and more for us here. And I live again on an alleyway, and I have a lot of friends and family and neighbors and people who walk through here who see all the different things that I was doing with all these small spaces. And they were encouraging me to share these things and teach these things to people. And that's kind of where I started on my adventure of social media and eventually YouTube. So one of the things I also have in my background, back when I was in high school and college, I did a lot of photography and video and things like that back in the old days too. We're talking about chemical labs and dark rooms and old VHS editing recorders and all that sort of fun. And many years ago, I enjoyed that sort of thing. And so I kind of revisited all of that sort of stuff again as I was thinking about how I could best share all the different things that I had growing on in my gardens. And so I had someone advise me just to take one of my phone cameras and just start shooting video. And from there, I started editing and putting together the different videos for this Urban Gardener channel. And that adventure took me on a whole nother road. And it's been one of the greatest, funnest things I've been doing in my life. And I just loved to share with everybody all of these really fun adventures that I get to go on here on this channel with everybody. It's been one of the really great things that I've gotten to do. And I really hope that it really takes me somewhere else into the future, as I've got a lot of really fun plans for this channel. So we're already getting started with a cool front yard micro pepper farm with one of my friends, as well as some of the really cool and fun things that we've got growing on here at our gardens. And now this really awesome invitational, and I'm so glad to have all of you along with me on this fun adventure too. So please, again, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified of all of these great upcoming videos. Again, every other Tuesday for this competition. So be on the lookout 2 Tuesdays from now for our next video. And we'll talk about everything that we got to do in order to win this competition. So I'll see you all this next video.